G'day all and welcome to the Good Friday edition of FriBaT, Friday Beers and Tools. I have to start with an apology. I had recorded this, everything went perfectly, went to do the editing and no sound, had some issues with the microphone. So therefore I have to do my beer review with an empty beer. Rest assured I have drunk it and I can give you a really good review of it. So let's start with this Friday's beer. We have a James Squire The Chancer. It's called The Chancer. It's a golden ale. It comes from the Malt Shovel Brewery, which is part of the larger Lions brewing group in Australia. A little bit of history about James Squire. James Squire was the first brewer in Australia. He was a convict that had come out on the first fleet, I believe, from England. And once he'd served his time, he got into the very lucrative market, even back then I imagine, of brewing beer for the rest of the colony. So it's a long history. This particular beer, the Chancer, is what they class as a golden ale. So it's quite malty, as opposed to the normal pale ale type that I drink, but not overpowering. It has a really nice toasted wheat and barley sort of flavour, and they use a Amarillo hop. I'm not sure whether that comes from Amarillo, Texas, but it's Amarillo hops in its brewing. It's a very nice, easy drinking beer. It's up there in alcohol content. This stubby is 1.2 standard drinks or 4.5% alcohol. It'd be really nice with a really nice steak at a restaurant. It's just a really nice beer. What do I rate the Chancer out of 5 spanners? I give the Chancer a solid 4 out of 5 spanners. It's a nice, easy drinking beer, and yeah, it's nice. All right, let's get on to our first tool. In fact, this week it's a tool kit. This particular one is an 11-piece trim removal tool set. The picture I'm going to put up, probably a better option on eBay and Amazon, is a 29-piece set which comes with a couple of other things, and I'll talk about them later. What's it for? What do I use it for? Those of us that have got modern cars with plastic trim know the joys of trying to remove trim without breaking it or the plastic clips that hold it in place. And this kit comes with a number of different shaped, sized and lengthed trim removal, solid hard plastic removal tools to be able to remove that trim without damaging it. If anyone's used a screwdriver on trim before, they'll know what I'm talking about. Very easy to damage plastic trim, scratch it, or even crack it with a screwdriver. So having a cheap plastic tool set just for that task is a really good idea. A number of the tools have these little V cutouts. That's for removal of the plastic clips, little pop-up mushroom style clips, and it does that reasonably well. There are a couple of other type tools. This one I've added into this kit. I don't believe this came with this kit. This is a metal screwdriver type, but it has a clip removal tool at the end here as well. The 29-piece kit that I've put the photo up does actually contain this and another type of clip removal tool as well. There's a massive range, size and shaped different tools, and they're all designed to be able to safely remove plastic trim without marring it or breaking it or cracking it. Is it something that you need in your toolbox? No, definitely not. It's a nice to have, but then again, at $30 odd for a kit, and if you do your own work on your own car, then it's a really handy addition to your toolkit. So what do I rate the trim removal tool set? As I said, there's a better version, a better value version in the 29-piece kit. I think at $30 it's pretty good value for money. I rate it a 4 beers out of 5 for value. For functionality and usability, you can do it with other tools. You can remove trim without other tools. The likelihood of marring and damage is higher. So therefore the functionality of it is pretty good. I'd give it a solid 4 out of 5 beers for usability. Next tool I want to talk about today is my Makita reciprocating saw, LXT, so cordless. I think Americans call them generically Sawzall, although I think that is a Milwaukee name for their version of this. Those that have watched a few of my FriBaTs will already know that I'm pretty keen on the Milwaukee 18-volt LXT range. I've had it for a long time, and I've been adding to it over the years by buying skins, so single tools without batteries and chargers, which is a pretty good way to go. If you're starting out, of course, you need to buy a kit. Probably not the best one to start out with though, because it's quite expensive as a kit. Alright, this particular model is, as I said, it's an LXT battery brushless motor with the BL there, so it's powerful and pretty good on battery. This particular model is an XRJ05 in the United States, and in Australia it's a DJR187Z, exactly the same tool. In fact, I think I bought this one from eBay US when they were still much more expensive in Australia. Okay, it has an excellent cutting speed. I've used it on a number of occasions, and you'll see a little video that I put up where I attack the bare frame with it to show you the speed at which it cuts through steel. And yes, I did pick a point on the frame that wasn't rotted out. I also cut a big piece of box section as well. And it's pretty amazing through steel. It has very good vibration control, which these type of tools, it's very important that you don't get a lot of vibe through your hand. It becomes very fatiguing after a while, especially if you're using it all day on a job site. It has really nice grips. It's the rubberized type grip. It has this big handle to be able to hang that from your tool belt or up to a job site up high. LXT batteries, a 4 amp hour battery runs really well in it. 3 will run, but obviously your run time won't be as long. To change the blade, it's very simple. It's a little bit hard to show you on the camera. It has this little turning section here. You turn that, then you can remove the blade. No tools required. When you're putting your new blade in, you just need to push it in the end, and it locks in place. That turns a little pawl through the middle of the blade, and that blade is locked in position. The foot on the front of it is adjustable in length. That's the minimum length there, and it will go out to sort of about that position. It has a 1.5 inch stroke on the blade, so I'll show you that in slow. It's fairly quiet for a big powerful saw, so I'll run it at full speed. That's on the faster setting. Probably want to use hearing protection if you're running for long periods of time. It has a although it's variable speed on the trigger, it does have a 2-position speed switch on here, and the ranges are 0 to 200 strokes per minute on the low and 0 to 3000 strokes per minute on the high position setting. But you can, as I said, you can vary the speed with the trigger. As I mentioned, it's a brushless, Makita brushless motor, so it's very powerful, it's got good torque, and with a 4 ampere hour battery it weighs about 3.7 kilos or about 8.2 pounds. It has the LED light for being able to see what you're doing in confined spaces, and it retails in Australia from between $279 and $349. There is a similar sized brush version which is also LXT, and it's not as powerful at its $209. And there is a big brother version of this one which takes 2 of the 18 volt batteries side by side, which turns it into a 36 volt saw, and so it's quite a bit more powerful. Similar size, obviously heavier. That's the XRJ06M for the American Makita numbers, and in Australia that's a DJR360Z, and it retails at about $399. I only have this one, I don't have the other ones, but I'm really pleased with this one. It is an excellent saw, it's got a lot of power, it lasts for quite a long time on a 4 ampere hour or bigger battery. You can get multiple size blades for them, so that's a 30 centimeter blade. In that particular case that's a Milwaukee brand. The one that's in it is a Lennox brand. I don't think I've actually tried the Makita blades, but the Lennox ones are very good and the Milwaukee ones are very good. So, what's my verdict on this awesome bit of kit? I think you know what I'm going to tell you. It is a really, really cool addition to your tool set. I really like the LXT range. They've got great power, they've got good longevity run time on the battery. They're weighty. You do need a bit of weight in a reciprocating saw without being overly heavy. It's comfortable, it's ergonomic, and it's pretty good value at $279 for a big powerful saw. So my rating for this on value is I rate it a 4 out of 5 beers for value. For functionality and usability, I rate it a 4.5 out of 5 beers. It is a really great bit of kit in the workshop environment. So normally I'd have a swig and say happy Friday to you, but I've already done that once, so don't think I can do that again. Have a great Easter long weekend. Almost everyone I know around the world is locked down in your own house, and that sucks for Easter, but it's the right thing to do for the rest of society. Just like everyone else, we're finding things to do at home. Luckily I've got the channel to keep going with, and I'll hopefully get a bit more Brutus product out there to you very soon, and I hope that you're well and you're safe wherever you are in the world. Anyway, that's it for this week's FriBaT. See you next week.